If karma is real, why do those who live with kindness still have to endure so much pain in this life? This is not just some distant philosophical question. It is the very question that each of us has whispered to ourselves at some point, especially during the moments when life feels unbearably unfair. We see people who genuinely care for others, always willing to help and live honorably, yet they are betrayed by the very ones they trusted with all their hearts. We see those who do no harm, who live righteously and kindly, silently battling severe illnesses before they even have a chance to fully enjoy life. Meanwhile, there are those who manipulate, deceive, and hurt others for their own gain, yet they live in wealth and power, admired and praised by society. In such moments, a deep sense of injustice rises within us. Where is fairness? If karma truly exists, why does life operate this way? Perhaps you have experienced this too. You treated someone kindly, only to receive exploitation and heartbreak in return. You tried your best to live well, yet suffering still found you without warning. And so you wonder, is it really worth being a good person? But maybe the answer does not lie in doubting karma itself. Maybe the real issue is that we have not truly understood what karma means. This is only the beginning, an invitation for us to look deeper into the nature of cause and effect and the unfolding of life. When people hear the word karma, many instantly imagine an invisible system of rewards and punishments that watches every action we take. If we do something good, blessings will come immediately. If we do something harmful, we must pay the price right away. But according to the Buddha's teachings, karma does not operate in such a simple or mechanical way. The word karma, in Pali and Sanskrit, means intentional action, actions that arise from our body, speech, and mind. This means that not only our physical deeds or spoken words create karma, but even the most hidden thoughts in our mind are planting seeds into the flow of our life. The Buddha compared karma to planting. Every wholesome thought, every gentle word, every kind action is a good seed being placed into the fertile soil of the present moment. On the other hand, every burst of anger, every harmful intention, every word that causes someone pain is also a seed, but one that will eventually sprout into future suffering. Some seeds sprout right away, like when you smile at a stranger and receive a warm smile in return. Some seeds take a long time to bear fruit, such as the patience you cultivate day by day that one day, in a moment of crisis, helps you remain calm while others panic. And there are seeds that only ripen in a future lifetime when the right conditions appear. A good person can still face hardship because the seeds planted long ago, sometimes not even in this lifetime, are finally coming to fruition. But while those old seeds are ripening into difficulties, the seeds of kindness, compassion, and wisdom they are planting right now are quietly taking root beneath the surface. It is simply that we have not yet seen the harvest. The most important thing is that karma does not imprison us in a fixed destiny. In every moment, we have the power and the freedom to plant new seeds. No matter what has happened in the past, no matter how challenging the present may feel, as long as our intentions remain wholesome in every thought, every word, and every action, those good seeds will eventually bring a new spring into our life. And right there, hope begins to bloom. When we begin to truly understand karma, another question naturally arises. What about the suffering that seems to have no connection at all to anything we have done? The Buddha clearly taught that life is formed from countless intertwined conditions. Karma is only one of those elements, and it is not always the direct cause of what we are experiencing. First, there is suffering that comes from natural laws. Every human being who arrives in this world must go through birth, aging, sickness, and death. Whether you are a saint or someone who has made many mistakes, this body will still change, weaken, and eventually leave this world behind. Just like gravity. If you drop a glass, it will break, no matter who drops it. The laws of nature do not distinguish between good and bad, do not favor or punish anyone. They are simply the nature of existence. Next, some things happen purely by chance. A sudden rain when you forgot your umbrella. An unexpected accident on the road. An earthquake or an economic collapse that pushes many people into hardship. Not every event carries a moral meaning or a lesson meant specifically for you. Sometimes it is simply life unfolding, and we are just caught in its current. Lastly, we are affected by the actions of others. We live in connection with each other, in a society where every decision someone makes can send out waves of consequences. An unethical leader can cause hundreds of people to lose their jobs. A single moment of anger can cause an innocent person great pain. This does not always reflect the personal karma of the one who suffers, but rather the result of ignorance, greed, and hatred that still exist within the collective. You can try to think of a painful moment from your own past. Was it truly because you had done something wrong, or were you simply impacted by conditions far beyond your control? Understanding this helps us let go of unnecessary self-blame and be less harsh on ourselves. When we realize that not all suffering is karmic punishment, our hearts become lighter. What matters is not searching for someone to blame or demanding to know why something happened. What truly matters is how we respond. What seed will we plant in this very moment so that the future may become a gentler and more peaceful place to live? When teachings become too abstract, the Buddha often shared stories to help people truly understand and feel the truth for themselves. These stories do not just inspire, they open a deeper way of seeing karma and suffering. The first story is about Angulimala. He was once a murderer who spread terror wherever he went, but when he encountered the Buddha, something miraculous happened. The calmness and compassion of the Blessed One awakened him. He abandoned violence, ordained as a monk, and devoted himself to a peaceful life. Yet his transformation did not instantly erase the consequences of his past actions. People who once feared him still threw stones and harmed him whenever they saw him. The Buddha told Angulimala that if not for his change of heart, he would have suffered hellish torment over many lifetimes. Now he was facing the ripening of his past karma in this very life. The pain he endured did not mean he was still evil. It simply meant that his past was ripening late. The next story is about Queen Khema. She was renowned for her extraordinary beauty and took great pride in it. By his profound wisdom, the Buddha created the vision of a woman even more beautiful than Khema. Yet within moments, that vision began to fade, to age, to fall ill, and finally die. Witnessing such a rapid transformation, she realized that no matter how radiant beauty may be, it is only temporary. From that shock, the insight into impermanence arose clearly in her heart. The pain of watching beauty vanish became the very gateway that led her to enlightenment. Finally, the Buddha compared karma to a farmer planting seeds. Some seeds sprout right away, some require many seasons of sun and rain, and some seem as if they will never grow until suddenly, under the right conditions, they bloom. A farmer does not give up simply because the sprouts are not visible yet. Likewise, a person who lives kindly should not think goodness is meaningless just because the harvest has not come. These stories remind us that when good people suffer, it does not mean they have done something wrong. Karma is a deep and layered process, far beyond what our eyes can see. What we can do is continue planting goodness, because the harvest will certainly come even if it is not today. When we face the truth of karma and the conditions that shape our lives, we must accept that suffering is something no one can avoid. This is also the first truth in the Four Noble Truths taught by the Buddha. Life inevitably comes with disappointment, loss, and pain. But what creates the difference between someone who merely suffers and someone who awakens is not how much difficulty they go through, but how they transform it. A good person is not someone untouched by suffering. In fact, they may feel pain even more deeply because their hearts are sensitive and full of compassion. However, instead of blaming life or resenting what has happened, they learn to look inward, to find meaning and lessons hidden within the hardship. Suffering, when illuminated by mindfulness, can become a remarkable teacher. Those who have walked through darkness often become more compassionate, because they understand what it feels like to stand where things go wrong. They judge others less harshly, because no one can truly know everything another person has endured. And they live more deeply, appreciating each peaceful moment and each gentle presence in their life. Not only in Buddhism, modern science has confirmed this truth. Psychologists call it post-traumatic growth. The human mind and nervous system, when challenged and pushed to endure adversity, become stronger and more resilient. We learn how to stand firm in storms and find inner peace, even when our circumstances remain unchanged. Suffering always has two sides. It can burn us down if all we do is resist and harbor bitterness. But that same fire, if guided wisely, can forge us into pure gold, brighter, sturdier, and warmer toward life. So instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" When we change the question, we begin to change our entire path of transformation. Once we understand that karma is not a punishment, but a natural flow of cause and effect, we can learn to live with it more proactively every single day. We do not have to wait for life to become fair to find peace. Our future is already hidden within the small actions we take today. The first and most important principle is to keep planting wholesome seeds. A kind word, a small gesture of help, a thought that brings no harm to anyone. All of these quietly create blessings. The Buddha taught that a water jar is filled drop by drop. No one becomes a truly good person in just one day. It is the small acts of kindness, repeated consistently over the years, that shape a peaceful character and a meaningful life. The second principle is to avoid judging those who are suffering. Some people face failure, some battle illness, some lose someone they love, and it is easy for others to carelessly say that it is their karma. But such a conclusion only shows a lack of understanding and compassion. As we now know, suffering can arise from countless conditions, not only from karma alone. Instead of judging, we should approach others with listening and empathy. A gentle word in someone's weakest moment can become a powerful source of support. The third principle is to stay mindful when karma ripens. There will be moments when challenges overwhelm us with anger, despair, or a desire to give up. But if in that moment we can pause, take a deep breath, and acknowledge what is happening inside us, we will not be swept away by it. Right in the midst of pain, we can choose to plant a new seed: patience, compassion, or forgiveness. This seemingly small choice holds the power to change the entire direction of our karmic path. Imagine two people standing under the same heavy rain. One complains and curses the sky, receiving only frustration in return. The other uses the rain to water their garden. The rain is exactly the same, but the outcome is completely different. Life is like that. Suffering will come to everyone, but how we use it will shape the kind of life we end up living. So let us be the ones who know how to turn the rain into life. When we understand karma deeply, we will realize that although karma operates powerfully in our lives, it does not determine everything. The Buddha taught that there is a path that frees us from being carried away by the endless cycles of cause and effect. It is the path of liberation, where the mind is no longer controlled by craving, fear, or a stubborn ego. When we loosen our attachment to these desires and fears, karma no longer has the power to drag us around in the cycle of gain and loss, praise and blame, love and hatred. Imagine karma as a flame. Every desire, every attachment we cling to, is another piece of wood fueling that flame. But when there is no more fuel, the fire naturally goes out. Nirvana is not the disappearance of a person or the end of life, but the gradual extinguishing of the inner fires that burn the mind from within. It is a state of unconditional freedom, where the heart is no longer bound by suffering or pleasure, by success or failure. And just like a lotus rising from muddy water, even though its roots lie deep in the murky ground, the flower still blooms in purity and spreads its gentle fragrance. We too can live in this turbulent world while maintaining a peaceful heart. We can live amidst impermanence and yet not be controlled by it. That is the beauty of spiritual freedom in Buddhism. Finally, remember that good people do not suffer because their kindness is a mistake. Suffering is doing something not everyone can see. It is planting wisdom, awakening compassion, and forging inner strength that no classroom could ever teach. Pain does not diminish your worth. It is shaping you into a deeper and more resilient version of yourself. So I invite you to pause for a moment and reflect. What seeds have the pains you have endured been planting within you? If you have found something meaningful in this journey, keep walking with a bright heart and a steady spirit. Life has never abandoned you. It is quietly preparing you so that you may bloom at the right time.